On the topic of finances, is there anything else that you'd like to say about it to a young Catholic man who's ready to start his family? Not talking about me, but it might be me. It might be everyone. I don't know.
And I think we've hit the main areas. I mean, we talked about health insurance, retirement plans, life insurance, wills, and what I tell people is you need to put professional people around you. It could be a good friend of yours that became an insurance agent, or a good friend of yours that became an accountant, a good friend that
Yes.
became a lawyer, and you have to network. There were, a matter of fact, it just came out in the news that the younger people are spending less time in groups, or spending less time like in Rotary clubs and things of that nature, and that's where the networking happens. So they need to go out and talk to your fellow classmates, or your fellow or friends that became professionals, and that's just part of survival. You have to have that networking, otherwise, because you never know when you'll need somebody. And you have to treat. I mean, the other thing is, it's an attitude. I think life is an attitude. You have to have a positive attitude toward people. All of us have a reputation. Whether we like it or not, we have a reputation. How you treat somebody is going to come back to you. And I think you have to work at that. One of the best organizations in the world in teaching their staff how to treat people is Disney.
Yes.
Is Disney. And
I read a book written about that called Be Our Guest. And it's all about hospitality and how to treat your employees. It's really good.
It is. Yeah, we at Del Mar College, we took a group of students to Disney, and they took us behind the scenes. And at Disney World, there's an underground city. That's where the cast members prepare. And they said, actually, it was kind of weird. There's a yellow line, and they told each cast member, when you cross that yellow line, you are in character. Whether you're a street sweeper, if you're Mickey Mouse, if you're Pluto, you are in character. You can imagine if a little girl saw Snow White smoking. I mean, that would ruin her mind.
Exactly.
Yeah, so I mean, you're in character.
It starts with how you treat their employees. I was reading in this where when they come in for orientation or whatever, they set the room up perfectly. And then the employees come in, and then they do training, and they go to lunch. When they come back, they redid the room, so they can get used to this organization and how everything must be clean and must be in order. So that's a great way, I think, to put it into your employee's head to be in customer service without beating it into them, like some companies will do, and then you say, "Oh, I hate this place." But
it's almost like life is that way.
Life is that way. Yeah.
So when you get up in the morning or you meet people, you have to be in character. And I'm talking about if we're with our faith, with Jesus, he wants us to pass that good news to people. And so every day we have a challenge. And I'll get people that come in that are in a very bad mood, and I tell they'll be maybe talking to my employees in a rude manner, and I tell them, look, there's something going on in their lives, and we just have to get around it. We have to figure out what that is. And lots of times it's just listening, and once you listen, they tell you, and you get them out of that. And that's the challenge we have, trying to help people everyday life.
Well, what I learned is that, especially when you're dealing with someone who's not in like a great mood or whatever, everyone's favorite subject is themselves. So if you can get them talking about themselves, usually you can help them work it out without maybe even having to say anything. It's cliche, but how does that make you feel carries a lot of weight. Like, if I got a fly in here, if you are able to get them out of that and just kind of get them going, eventually they work it out themselves. and it's beautiful to watch.
It is. One of the, of course, being a CPA, I deal with IRS agents. And there was one situation where I was dealing with an IRS agent, and my grandpa always said, there's always, everybody has a good side. You just got to look for it sometimes. So this agent, I was trying to get them to realize something about my client, and they kept saying, no, 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 trying to really get me to blow up. And I kept calm. I kept going after him. I tried something different. And I finally, after about 15, 20 minutes, he said, you know what? You're right. I accept what you said about the agent, about the client, and we'll go ahead and give him the credit he needs. And I was like, oh my gosh. And he was trying to get a rise out of me. And I said, I refuse to do
Misery
that.
loves company. And sometimes it's just when you're in a mood, it just spreads. It spreads like a rash. So that is so amazing that you have that patience and that you can deal with people like that.